Lucas Herring, the former mayor of Barre City. How you doing?
I'm doing well, but now that I'm notorious, I feel like I'm a rapper or
You,
something.
wait a minute. The notorious L. What's your middle initial?
J.
LJH.
Well, because it could be like LL Cool J.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, yes, that sounds better.
That does sound good. How you doing, sir?
Not bad. How are you?
Can't complain. Can't complain too much.
Yeah.
You wanted to come down here and give us some information?
Well, I was asked to come down because I know Raylene's already talked with Bonnie about the Veterans Place.
Yeah.
And things are definitely changing. If you try to go to the website right now, it's probably you're not going to see much.
Yes, because Logan.
Yeah, Logan's been helping out. He's taking over the website. For the hosting, of course, he has to make his expenses up. So there's the hosting cost and the domain. But he is going to be volunteering and updating the site. A lot of the information, it was pretty static. So he's going to give it a new look and feel. And he's working on that currently with Christina, who's one of our board members. And hopefully, what we'll have on there as new information, Christina is also working with Bonnie on our annual report. So that's usually out by the end of April, and that's one of the documents that we hope to have out there.
Cool.
Glenn Brummer says hello to Lucas.
Hello.
He misses you.
And it'll be nice to have a website that you can go to and clearly get the info for things like fundraisers or the meal train, things like that. So it's kind of exciting.
We've been talking a lot about having a calendar of events because there's a lot of stuff that the board's been trying to work on to organize. Same thing, Bonnie's been working on a lot of information on what her and staff are doing. So when we have something coming up like the bottle drive. So Michael, you know that I'm going to talk about Green Up Day a little bit, but Green Up Day is also historically when Northfield does a bottle drive for the Veterans Place, and that's run by Bonnie and the staff. This year, we were looking to expand it. We're going to be doing one event here in Barre City, and it's going to be out front of Lenny's. I think it's from 10 to 3. JD Green, I think, is going to be helping with that. And then up in Barre Town, it's going to be at the Barre Town Middle and Elementary School in the parking lot area because that's co-locating where Green Up is up there. Same hours, 10 to 3. And we have a number of the Barre Lions Club that will be assisting up there.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. So again, they've been doing it for a long time. We're just trying to help grow and expand the different programs that they have. And every little bit helps. So if you haven't already brought all your bottles to help with I think it was the lacrosse team here locally that was doing a fundraiser.
Yes.
Then you get a second bite at that apple to be able to help bring your bottles and donate those. So, and what it goes toward, because the Veterans Place, I haven't been on your show to talk about it yet, Michael. It's a transitional housing program over in Northfield, but people are like, well, if it's for Northfield, then why are you over here? And really, it's the location for Vermont. There are a couple other locations that do assist. We have a place called Josh's House, for example, up in Colchester, but they don't have transitional housing. They have a location where people can go. There's a place called the Dodge House, which is down in Rutland, and their structure's a little different. They have like a couple apartments that can help out in that region, and they are geared more for if you have a smaller family, you can have your apartment there. But what the Veterans Place is in Northfield is it's geared for more single male occupancy. They have 18 beds. And so when people are asking the questions of why is it different, it's really because we have a VA grant, and that's what we are allowed to have based on that grant. So currently, I think the last numbers, there were 17 beds that were filled out of the 18. And that's good and bad, right? So you want to have the beds filled so that you're having those individuals get the services that they need to get the housing that they need. The bad is, well, there's veterans that need housing. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword whenever you look at it. But I think the program is a very well-run program, and I'm thankful that Bonnie and the staff are able to help out.
Yeah, it definitely is awesome, and the support that is provided at the Veterans Place in Northfield far exceeds what the other places can give or do give.
Yeah. So when we talk about the programming, right now we do have 2 vacancies. So we're still looking for the case manager position in housing case management. The housing case manager is actually filled by the previous managing director. So Karen has stayed on board to help out, to help us while we're trying to fill that position. And then Bonnie, her previous position was the case manager. So
Right.
at least we have resources in house to be able to assist. But I think what your point is more like with the rental, the housing program that is through the state, it's a room that's given to somebody. They're put into a room, and of course it's a warm room for them. But they don't have any of the services around them to be able to assist in, do you know how to balance your checkbook? You know, are you getting the resources that you need so that maybe the VA can provide you medical assistance, or you're eligible for other programs which the case manager can assist with.
Right.
And similar, the housing case managers working with those locally to be able to try to place somebody. Again, we're supposed to just be a transitional location. Over call it 9 to 12 months, we try to have that person transition out to a residence so that they can have and live on their own, maintain their own residence.
About how many people do you serve annually?
Well, it depends on that cycle of how people rotate through, but just think of it's 18 beds. So what we have to do is we have to maintain a success rate, and we're supposed to stay at a 75% success rate of those transitioning, and we have met that in order to meet the VA grant.
Nice. So what can we do besides hold our bottles? Is there...
Well, so the reason why we're doing that bottle drive is because fundraising is one of the items that we really need to start picking up on. So I'll mention 3 things in general. One is, again, the positions that are vacant. We need to fill those positions so that the staff that are currently there aren't working 2 jobs to make sure that the residents get the services that they need. And the third is, coming up soon, we're going to have a lot of our policy documentation set so we can do our next board recruitment. And we want to make sure that we have a steady and consistent set of board members, not just from Northfield. So historically, you think the House has been in Northfield. Everyone's been around that location to be able to assist. But really, when we're trying to support veterans throughout the state of Vermont, and we're trying to get the word out about what the program does, we can't just be individuals that are located within Northfield. So we're trying to expand and grow our board. And what that will help us do is help with the communication in other towns, or come over on podcasts like this, right? Not only just to get out the message, but also Candy, who's our vice president, she does a Calcutta over here at Gustos, for example.
An amazing time.
Yeah,
it's so much fun.
But if we can do Calcuttas like that in different parts of the state, because we have other board members or volunteers that can run those, it's going to help bring in the funding that we need to run the program.
And if people want to reach out, how would they do so?
Yeah, if you want to reach out to me, the email account that I use for the Veterans Place, tvpipresident@gmail.com. And the TVPI is the Veterans Place Inc. So if you ever hear us refer to TVPI, that's what it stands for. And we have that for the vice president. It's the same thing, TVPI vice president, or even the director. So if you want to reach out to Bonnie, TVPI director@gmail.com.
So T as in Tom, V
As in Vermont.
Vermont, PIPRESIDENT
Yes.
All right.
Perfect.
Wanted to drop that down there so
Yeah.
that people can...
So just to speak of some of the other things that we have done, the Adam Ezra concert that happened over here at the Barre Opera House, he is a big supporter of veterans, and he has his own organization to run fundraising for transitioning veterans, but he's much bigger than just Northfield. So he invited us to come and set up a booth outside of his venue, and we did. So we're sitting there, and we got to see everybody that came in. They stopped by. They took last year's annual report, other information that we had. And then during his show, he just spoke about us, which was tremendous.
Which is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I wish I had the audio so I could have captured that, so I could have shared it later on. But he did a great job. We raised over $1,000
Nice.
just being there. So I just want to say thank you to Adam and his group for allowing us to come there for, just to participate.
Now, are you still looking for donations and funds for the flags and what
So-
else were you looking for?
Yeah, so one of
Banners,
the
flags?
things on the website, we used to have a page that was like, these are the types of things that we're always looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when Bonnie talked to you, she talked about the shelving downstairs where it had clothing and it had the boots
Yeah,
and stuff.
yep.
There's always going to be a need for an ask. So even if I can't point to something specific tonight, one of them was that they were looking for the replacement of the flags, and I think they have received those. But there's always the next ask, right?
Right.
So I don't know if I'm stealing any of
And
Bonnie's
sometimes
thunder,
it's small and sometimes it's bigger. I mean,
Well,
sometimes
right.
you can just reach out to the community and say, hey, we need, we're running low on socks or hangers
Right.
or something like that. But sometimes it is financial or staffing support or something that you need.
So, for example, we're looking to replace a van, and so that is a large expense. And Bonnie has been able to receive a grant for a portion of it. So I don't want to get too far ahead of her. I want her to be able to announce
Right.
those types of things. But those are the next asks that come up. And when we come again, we want to be able to say thank you to those organizations for what they were able to
Right.
give for donations, and then be able to then go on to the next step. There was a previous ask too for the TVs with the, I always say it wrong, Fobu, TiVo, Roku. Yeah,
Yep,
Roku.
Roku.
Thank you, because there's all those little language things. So those little Rokus that they sit in the house, it's not like when you go on cable and it's like a constant cost all the time.
Right,
It's you
right.
bought the device and now you have the service there. So Bonnie did something similar. She reached out to the American Legion. She asked for some donations, and she was able to get some donations through them to get the device and TVs that were needed for it. So, it's those, you put out an ask. You're not trying to take on too much at once, but make sure that you do have an event or a fundraiser that goes along with an item that's needed. And so you'll keep seeing those come out, especially when we have the new website set up. We hope to continue to have that information up to date.
Nice. You'll have to make sure that you send us the link once it's all set up, because I know Raylene will definitely want to share it on the 802 Scoop page.
I definitely will. And I mean, I know who they're working with as far as the website goes. He's a sponsor of ours, and Candy had reached out to me and said, do you know anybody that does this? And I said, absolutely. So Liam. And so I'm just so happy that you guys were able to hook up and get that going. He's excited. I know that.
Yeah, I think he and Christina are on a Zoom call right now as we speak, working out some of the details that are needed for the site. So
Awesome.
Nice. So what else has been going on in your life there, Mr. Herring?
So outside of the Veterans Place?
Yes.
Well, so I did just note, and I did bring in this little prop because, with me in Green Up Day,
It's your favorite day of the year,
it is.
isn't it?
It's my favorite holiday of the year. And because I am going to be assisting with the bottle drives this coming Green Up Day, I was out today, for example. So in Northfield, if you see 10 bags that are picked up on the side of the road between where the university is and if you're heading south to Route 63 or whatever,
Yep.
you'll see a bunch of these full, and that was me. Tomorrow's Earth Day.
Right.
So I try to use that as the promotion time period. Like once you start seeing those bags out, it means it was Earth Day all the way through Green Up Day. That's a promotion in itself. You see the bags out there, oh, I should go pick up the bags because the day's coming up. Not just that, but what if Green Up Day is a little rainy? You're not
Right.
going to have a good turnout.
Right.
So anytime you can pick up the bags early, there's a nice day between now and then, just
go
go
ahead
out and pick up some trash.
And I think most places do have them out. I've seen a lot of towns and cities advertising that they already have them at the clerk's office.
Yeah, so Kate, who is the executive director for Green Up Vermont, she's already delivered all the bags, so all the coordinators in each of the towns should have them. If they haven't reached out and put it out yet, be looking for that information too. Here in Barre City, I believe the city clerk's office has bags, so you
Yes.
can go in and grab them. That's true in most towns where they coordinate and have the bags available. But then they also have the list of the coordinators right on the Green Up Vermont website. So if you go out there and you're trying to find, well, I'm in Barrytown, who's my person? And if you look on the list, it might say Guy Norwood. So you could reach out on that email address or phone number to be able to contact him. So whatever town you're from, wherever you're watching from in Vermont, just go Green Up Vermont and you will be able to contact someone to get one of these pretty little bags.
And
be
there
able to
are-
greenupvermont.org,
Yeah.
.org.
which I
And
did drop the
there are
link.
some towns that have like teams. They're almost making it a competition this year, I saw, where they have these teams that are going out and whoever gets the most bags. And they're really trying to make it fun and push people to maybe work a little harder at
Yeah,
getting it
there's
all
an
picked
app
up.
as well, so you can actually form teams on the app, and you can have people sign up so that you can track where you have actually been and where you're cleaning up. That's been helpful in the past, especially I remember because I've been really involved with Green Up Day here in Barre. We had a map so you could see every road that was cleaned. And part of that is so one, you can track where the cleaning has happened, but two, when you have someone come up to you and they're asking, can I assist? Like, where can I go? You can actually look and say, would you be willing to clean this stretch of roadway? And then send them out on their way.
Yeah.
And that way there, you're not having people duplicate efforts.
So here's the question for you. Are you going to be creating a hat or no?
Creating a hat. I'm wearing a hat right now. This is my
For
Veterans
the
Place.
Kentucky Derby hat contest.
Can I wear like all of my hats at once and have that like fit?
Okay, so this
Is
is
that
on
the
the
one at
Green
Tasty
Up.
Bites?
This is no. This is on greenupvermont.org, and it's Saturday, May 3rd. Live music, food, drink specials. Some even offering hobby horse racing, Kentucky Derby hat contest. Build and wear your own derby hat, made of recycled, repurposed, and reimagined materials. So
Interesting.
I think, and I might be wrong, are they suggesting that you make the hats out of the stuff that you find? And
It's
would
just
you do
supposed
that?
to be out of recycled material. It doesn't
Just
have to be out of the
okay.
stuff that you find.
It doesn't.
Because honestly, that would be probably really
gross.
dirty. So, but if you think about in your own household, because a lot of people, you clean up your items before you do
Yeah.
recycle them. And I would say those are the type of items that is being mentioned on there. And I won't be creating a hat because I may be judging a contest.
Oh,
We'll see how the day
okay.
works out. Because
Nice.
if I believe the time on there, I think it starts at 3. I'm trying to remember
It
off.
does not say here. It does. It doesn't say what time.
Okay. Well, we'll make sure to get the time updated on there too.
It
Because
does say, build and wear your own derby hat.
Are
made
you
of
going to
recycled
do that,
No,
Michael?
No, I'm not.
No.
No. But there's fabulous prizes, first, second, and third places. $100 triple crown prize. Gift for all entries. Oh, I can give full details. Does it say the time? Well, you can go to greenupvermont.org for all the details on it.
And is Vermont spelled out?
Yes, it
Okay.
is. Yep.
yeah, with any of those terms too, if you just do Green Up Vermont, it will go. It'll be the first thing that pops up on your search.
Yeah. Nice.
So yeah, other things. Well, I'm still a Barry Lion, and I'm so thankful that they were willing to help out this year too on Green Up Day for the bottle drive. Because one thing we noted is, like, I'm getting older myself, right? We're all getting older. It's true. But we have a number of members that they have always gone out and they helped out on Green Up Day. But as we age, we do not like to bend over as much sometimes. It's just one of those things. You just can't do those same functions anymore. So if we can volunteer in other ways, then we will. So that's what I love about the Barre Lions is they always find a way to make an event or a fundraiser or something to work out. So they were all on board for helping out in manning, I should say personing. That's probably not even a political correct statement anymore. Manning a booth, but being the person at a booth to pick up bottles. So it's so great that they're going to be there to assist. So
Absolutely.
I just want to say, and if you want to look for them too, they are Barre Lions. And that one's a .com, I believe.
Sure is. And I'll drop the link down there as well. So here's the question for you.
Sure.
So you say you're a Barre Lions, but are you still the Barre Lion?
I was not the lion. I used to be the frog for Froggy 100.9.
Oh, you were never the lion?
No, the suit is smaller. So I know that even some people bigger than me have worn it. But when it's the suit halfway up your calf,
leg, yeah.
It doesn't look the best. So individuals that are smaller tend to wear it these days.
Okay, then.
But I am even though I'm in Northfield, I am still a Barre Lion. We do basically cover central Vermont. We do have a secondary chapter of the Barre Lions, which is the Asian American branch. And Bernadette, who lives in the Plainfield area, has a lot of members that are from the Montpelier area. But we coordinate quite well to make sure that we're covering all of central Vermont. So.
Nice. And I see a picture here. Is this all the Lions? I see John Riley.
You don't have a TV facing my way.
I know.
Right.
I'm sorry. It's that one.
Yeah, that was from Christmas last year. You can see me in the upper left of that picture with my long hair. It's still long. I just have it up in a ponytail right now. But every year when we have our holiday party, we all bring in a toy, and it's an unwrapped toy to be able to donate.
Nice.
Michael knows a lot about
I do know.
toys. at
Right,
Christmas.
donated toys and yeah.
How can people get involved in the Barre Lions? Since, I mean, you're Stumpin' Farm, so.
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to go to that site to learn a little bit more, of course, the main programs that they do are sight and hearing programs. And Paul Plant is our chair to basically oversee the funding for glasses. So if you have trouble purchasing glasses, that's one of the programs that we have. Similarly, we'll work with any hearing type device that you need, but
And you
they
collect
can be
them.
expensive.
And you collect them.
We do. If you have old glasses, you can go to one of your eye shops around here. They usually have a box, and they collect them right there at the location, and then we'll go around and collect those for redistribution.
And of course, one of the most favorite things that they do is the annual toe down,
They do. Yeah. So
which is coming up.
the Barre Heritage Festival is coming right up.
Speaking of getting older.
Yeah. Well, I remember going out there in sandals and trying to pull one time. Learned not to have sandals on because they break pretty easily when you're pulling on a big truck.
Oh.
Like
The
that.
very last time we won as a city council, well, I mean, the city council hasn't participated in years now, but the last time we won that was when you were on city council. So, I mean, you weren't mayor. Tom was mayor at the time. He was.
Been a hot minute.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute. It's been a hot
For
minute.
sure.
It's been like
Yeah.
10 years.
Yep.
Because, in defense, I think the Ravens weren't doing, I don't think they were playing that year. And on top of that, I also think we were pulling down the hill.
Yeah, but Bible Baptist, they have won a couple of years.
Oh my
They've
goodness,
won
they are
multiple
powerhouses.
times. They practice
Yeah,
year round.
They
They
are
practice.
powerhouses
They
for
are.
sure.
No, with upcoming Heritage Festival events, I wish that they still had the bathtub race because we were undefeated
yep.
3 years running, and that was a great, great time. You
Well,
remember
we'll
that?
have
You
to-
ran
we'll have
it.
to bring it up to
I know.
Tracy.
Well, why don't you reinstitute the bathtub race?
So somebody has to organize it, bring all the bales. Like, it's always great to say it, but you need to have a person to organize it.
Right.
And it was through scouting in the past, so it could be that somebody reaches out to Troop 1 to see if they want to do it as a fundraiser. They might be interested. I'm sure that they could find the bathtub that was used, and the bales could be donated and have that run again. It was a great event for sure.
I would agree, and it was nice that we won. I got the trophy, picture of the trophy somewhere on my phone.
Yeah, those were good days.
Yeah, they were the days. When,
Were you sitting in the bathtub, Michael?
No, I think
I was sitting
Lucas
in the
was
bathtub.
sitting in the bathtub.
Yeah. I was the wheelman, as they call it.
Yes, I
Yeah.
I contributed by holding the sign.
Oh.
That was about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't fast enough to push.
Well, hey.
So we had Michael Smith and Charlie Dindo one year
Yep.
that pushed.
Yep.
I don't think they pushed every year. I can't remember the makeup of council each year, but I do remember that one. I had goggles on, and if I didn't, there's no way I would have been able to see at the end because they had water balloons, and that's part of the
Oh,
fundraiser.
yeah.
And they just chuck the balloons at
drunk.
you. So if it wasn't for those goggles, I would
You
not
would
have
have
been
been a
able to
mess.
see anything.
Yeah.
Man,
All the fun.
Yeah.
there was, the council was fun at one time.
Well,
was.
there's still hope.
All right, so I am looking now because I'll be able to find that pretty quick because I sold my soul to Google. And apparently not sold enough because I can't find it that quickly. That's very unfortunate.
The pictures of it.
The picture of it. I don't think it recognizes him,
Oh.
but it might recognize Michael Smith. No, it does not. Well, that's unfortunate. It was great. Maybe.
I can make sure to send you a picture if you would like.
Oh, yeah. Send me a picture,
Sure.
and Raylene will post it, or send it to Raylene, and she'll
Yeah.
post it on 802 Scoop.
Absolutely.
So,
So speaking of the Ravens, though, did you tell Lucas that we are the official promoters for the Vermont Ravens?
Wow.
I did
Yeah,
not.
we're super excited. So we are the official local promoters for them, and so that'll make it tough this year. I should be, because 802 Scoop should be cheering them on, but who knows who they'll be playing against at the Towdown.
I
That's going to be a tough one.
would have to say that I'm going to have to support my church, Bible Baptist Church. Sorry.
Are you going to be on one of their teams?
No.
He helps me run sound.
I've aged out of the toe down.
Is Paul Plant still going to be announcing, or?
I think so. Yeah. We just helped him last year provide the speaker and the microphones and all that. That's what we did last year, just to help him out with that. And and it worked out great. It worked out really well.
It did.
Yeah.
All right. So, do we want to jump in and start talking about local politics?
Look how excited you are.
I'm
We
always
know you
excited
want to
about
talk
local-
about it.
I'm always excited about local politics.
Well, and I can hear from you what's going on in Barre City versus, since I'm over in Northville now, I don't get to see everything that I used to.
I know. You just got to read my email because you're on my list.
That's true. So are you going to start with
It
your
goes right
news
to
on
spam.
Yes.
the superintendent?
Yes. So I'm super excited that the BUUSD has reappointed Joanne Canning as our superintendent. It was a unanimous vote, and we are very happy to have her for another year and hopefully another 2 years. depending on whether or not she wants to stay with us. It's a contract, 1 year contract with an option to renew. So, which is really good because we need significant stability in our district, and I believe that she does bring that stable hand to the instability that we've experienced in the last couple of years.
Yeah, you definitely have a lot going on, and not having another bump in the road is good because you seem to be on a good momentum right now.
I think so. But that's all I got for the school board.
So, because Payne Mountain School District is a separate school district, our first vote did not pass, and it did pass this time.
It did.
It did.
It did. How by? Do you know how by? How much?
I believe it was 33 votes the first time that it failed by, and I think it passed by
I posted
quite
it.
a bit.
Yeah, it was quite a bit. I posted it.
It's tough to pass budgets. It's and the main reason is because people are tapped out. They're just tapped out when it comes to taxes. And that's a product of the legislature, of course, where, we need to do something about that. And unfortunately, the bill that passed the House was lackluster at best, meandering, dull plan that was replaced by, that replaced the bold and transformative plan that the governor had offered. And people were scared of the governor's plan. 5 districts scared people. That was a starting place. You throw out there, you
Bill's
start it
gotten
there.
those conceptions, those
Yes.
conceptual designs. We're gonna have to talk to him about that and say, none of that. Just say,
Just say,
yeah. Here's
Yeah,
an
say one
amount.
district?
One district.
You run with it. Yeah. Here's an amount, and you run with it.
Well, I mean, it's
Pick a number, any number.
They picked what they did is they picked the superintendent's districts, right? The superintendent districts, VSA or yes, VSA breaks their chapters up in this different 5 districts, and that's what it was. They just picked that. And they could have done multiple different ones because there are different options to choose. You could do it through the CTEs, right? There's definitely options that are going to be better than what we currently have, and almost anything is better than what we currently have.
So I think some of the question, though, is still around the funding in the end, because if you drop 180 million or whatever the number was, what does that equate to for a student? How much of the benefit that the student was receiving, whether it's another teacher or paraeducator in the classroom, or when that 180 million goes away, what does that equate to for services that are now no longer being received by that student?
So the way that it's set up, how it was set up was that there was a flat rate for the first amount, and then it's weighted. They do weights based on that. And where the savings are is when you merge the districts and close the rural schools, right? The schools that are super expensive, and that drives up the price of education in the state of Vermont. And that's where the cost savings are.
So I can remember because when I went to high school, I was at U32, and it was a union district. So I came from Worcester and rode on the bus like an hour and a half each way to get to my class, to go to school. So I'm wondering if this consolidation, how long of a bus ride would that child have if you're closing these schools that are in their local districts in order to get to a combined district or school? Maybe you have information on that. That would be interesting for me, just because I remember those bus rides, right?
Me too.
Not
Ours
positive?
were long too. When I was young,
Yeah.
I was in Williamstown when I was young, and the rides were long and mostly back roads, and it was like, oh my gosh, are we ever going to make it home?
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, I think Elmer was the last one-room schoolhouse in Vermont, And so when that combined with Morristown, Morrisville, which I think is Harwood overall now, like, so there's been some of these consolidations over time, and it'd be interesting just to see what does that impact look like for that average student.
Well, I can tell you that our education hasn't gone up. Our education rates or success rates haven't gone up. What does it mean? Yeah, it would mean a bus ride that's longer. There's no doubt about that. I do know this. If you look at our central Vermont area, we could fit Spalding, Montpelier, and U32 all in one building in U32.
That's so crazy to me.
The existing structure of U32 can house all of those students for those
Yep.
3 districts.
Well, how many students were there when you were?
It was a little over 1,000. That was I believe 7 through 12 was a little over 1,000 kids.
Yeah. How many was it built for, though? Do you know how that
Oh,
was?
I know they've done additions since I was there.
Right.
So
Yeah. So,
would be
and
different.
I know
He
that
just likes
Spalding.
to age us.
I know.
Well, Spalding was originally, when I went to school, it was like 1,300 people that were there, and they're down to like 480. So it's
Wow.
it's a dwindling.
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, congratulations to Joanne Canning for getting her reappointment with the BUUSD. We can now move on to City Council. Excited?
And everybody should join us either in person
Yes.
at 6 p.m. at City Hall or via Zoom. Same thing, 6 p.m. You may want to start trying to sign on just a few minutes early, not way super early because there won't be a meeting started yet. But I think this is going to be a hot topic agenda. And so I think that we may see many from the community come out about this one.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
At least I hope we do, because it is a hot topic. It's something super important, and we need to have good discussions.
We do. We're going to be talking about cameras. And I know that when you were on City Council, we had this conversation. We never
We
did
talked about
any-
different things. One was the cameras on police officers. So
Yep.
when they were
And those are
Working.
now on every police officer.
Right.
But they're looking to have cameras at specific locations throughout the city. City Hall Park, obviously, the police station, and now I can't remember the other
Some
places.
very specific intersections,
Yep.
Jeff said, and possibly out behind the stores, Enterprise Alley. And I think that's it for the first batch.
So there's going to be, I think, 4 cameras down on Main Street and Maple Avenue, the intersection down by Mr. Z's, and then there's going to be 2 cameras on Merchants Row by Depot Square, and then one on for the City Hall Park, one by the Mr. Central. What's Mr. Central?
maybe it's spelled incorrectly.
That's what I wasn't sure either. I was going to ask you what that was.
I have no clue what that is.
I
So
have no clue
Are the
either.
cameras good enough to like?
It's on Merchants Row. It's
Are
another
they
one.
reading license plates? Like, what's the
No,
intent?
No.
no. They're just there to catch if there's any type of criminal activity. And the Mr. Central, I will feel terrible if that's a business. But that's down on
Sounds
Merchants
it.
Row as well. And then, yeah, so only
Maybe it
only
means
8
Merchant
cameras.
Central, like it's central to the Merchants Row.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's probably Merchant. Ah, very good. That makes sense. MR, yep, because it's got MR North and MR North 2. So, yeah, that's probably what it is. Now I feel like an idiot, which is normal
Well, that's
for
all
me.
right.
But,
That's okay.
So, what's your thoughts on cameras, sir?
Well, so when we were talking about it before, it was even everyone. Think of it like the neighborhood watch program. If you had a Ring doorbell, you would have a camera there, so it could see somebody coming up, grab your package, and leaving, and you'd be able to give that to a police officer. So that was at your own personal residence. If they are choosing these specific locations, it sounds like there must be a reason why they chose them.
Right.
If you're also hearing about the crime report, maybe they coincide. So, I would want the data to speak for itself. If officer or police chief Vale, I think, right? Again, it's been a day or two. If he was to come in and say, I'm asking for these cameras in these locations because this is where I'm seeing an uptick in crime, and we need to have more data, it'd be no different than local merchant having their cameras on at their establishment and being able to
Right.
provide the footage. So
And he is doing a presentation on crime in Barre City. It's definitely increased. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share
We've
the
seen
screen.
a lot of increase, just even here in our building, the number of videos that I am able to share with the department on a weekly basis is insane. Just the weekend alone it was busy around here.
Yeah. Judy's asking if the crime report is available on the city website, and I do not know that. I do know that the city council packet did have some statistics, and I'm showing the statistics right now. The blue is the 3-year average, and then 2024 is the yellow. And you can tell that everything in yellow is higher than what the blue is, which goes to show that it's higher than the 3-year average of
Right.
2021 to 2023.
Right.
and I think you were noting that is the property crime, not the violent crime, correct? Or is it a mixture of both?
So it's, loitering, vagrancy, retail theft, drug-related, disorderly conduct, disturbances, overdoses, and alcohol. So no seriously violent crime. Although, I could argue that drug-related crimes is a violent crime. in
Yeah,
general.
absolutely.
But
People are definitely they have a lot of fear is involved with all of that, and they rob, and sometimes at gunpoint. We just saw that. We don't know how it was robbed, but the little store right down the road, Granite City Grocery, was robbed this weekend, like right in the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah, the difficulty is going to be that data is always going to be lagging incidents that are happening in the community right now. So it would be based on that point in time.
Right.
Yeah. Brett Rubinate says they should put one up at the library. The place is super sketchy, and
I
it
agree.
is. It's
I
100%
absolutely
sketchy.
agree. And I don't know if I brought this up to you before. We talked a little bit about it on Table Talk, but the majority of you can almost always find the activity that's happening at night, and sometimes later in the day. But at night, a lot of times, places that offer free Wi-Fi and they don't shut it off at night, because a lot of phones, they don't necessarily have a phone service or a phone plan, but they work with Wi-Fi. So often people will hang in the places where they can get free Wi-Fi.
Or outdoor electricity.
Yep, that's true. That's a
Yeah. We used to have a mesh network in the downtown, which was meant to increase business flow because when you think about it, if you had a device that did not have cell service, you could do a QR code, you'd have the mesh network and connect to it and be able to see their menus or prices or whatever it was. But to your point, it was during business hours, it wasn't after hours. So, but same thing when we have the lights up for the holidays, I believe the plugins are at the top,
Yeah.
not the bottom. And that's so that people aren't just plugging in and using them.
yeah.
I say it's going back in time. The city,
Oh,
I'm not a part of it anymore.
Want to go back in time? We could. Tempt me with a good time. It's probably a good idea if we went back in time, got rid of our cell phones, everything, except for Barry B. We wouldn't want to get rid of Barry B.
Well,
So what else is on the agenda?
Well, we also have, we're gonna allocate $15,000 from the Semper Bond annuity to do some grounds work at the different parks. So, which is obviously good. We have, I think there was like $260,000 from that's it stored up in that annuity account, which really good. I mean, we were there when we got that annuity, which is pretty awesome. That Ms. Charlie Sepperbon gave us that money. Then we've got the, let's see, approve elevation application. So there's 3 buildings in the flood zone, one on Vine Street, one on Berlin Street, and now I can't remember the other house, and I feel absolutely terrible about that.
is it a mudslide one?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
it's lifting it up.
Oh,
I think Vine Street. I can't remember. One is Vine Street and one is on Berlin Street at least. What's really awesome? Oh, River Street. That's where the other one is. What's really awesome about this is that the city is going to be. They got money from Vermont Emergency Management, and they're going to be able to use those funds. Judy Copping has my back. She said River Street. The Vermont Emergency Management gave us $900,000. We're going to be able to help those buildings to rise up out of the floodplain, which, it does so much. The most important thing that it does is it allows someone to stay in a home that they've been living in, and that's great. And the other benefit to it is that building stays on the tax rolls
Right.
as well. And we're struggling financially within the city. The budget is I think the last one it was like 10% increase, and for tax increase. And that's a product of we're losing our grand list, right? And this is an opportunity to maintain that grand list, but more importantly, we're able to keep
people in their houses.
homes. And I really wish that we could do more as a state, helping out folks that are in these houses that are in the floodplain, but there's
That really
not a
wanna
lot of
stay?
money.
now when you say lift them, do you mean stilts?
I don't think
Or
stilts. I
elevate,
think it's just
literally
elevate them.
elevate the building and then build up the land around it and put it back down?
I don't know the details.
Or like any basements, like
Probably.
they'd have to like get rid of their basements completely.
That would be, that could be it as well. I just know that it's I didn't look at what it actually entails. Just elevating it out of the floodplain would
Well,
be.
we'll go tomorrow and find out, won't we?
Well, that's very true.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you said there was 3 locations, but is this a program to support any house that is in the floodplain, or do you know why the 3 were chosen?
I don't know why the 3 were chosen, honestly.
Yeah, well, questions for tomorrow. There you
All right.
go. Okay.
They do have the if they actually go with the cameras, it will be interesting to see whether or not the council supports going, with cameras. And if they do, then they'll have the camera policy, which in it is about a 30-day retention period, which is, I think, standard for the state of Vermont. Is that correct? I would look towards you because you're.
Yeah, I used to work with cameras, and the cost benefit was based on if you hold video for a year, there's a lot of cost on storing all
Yeah.
of that video. So it really is a policy. And if you have any records retention laws that say certain incidents have to be kept for a certain amount of time, then you have to meet those laws. So if someone from the city's legal has said 30 days is the day, then there you go.
Yep. Then there's also they're going to be updating the fee structure, which is an annual thing that happens this time of year. And of course, they're going to be approving the manager's contract. Unfortunately, it's not in the packet, so I'm not sure what the details of the contract are. But once we get those, I'm sure we'll share. But I'm assuming it's for Nicholas, so congratulations for reappointment, Nicholas.
I would assume.
Yeah, so not too much on the agenda.
Well,
that are
not too much, but I think what is on there is super important, and
Yeah.
I think it's going to take some time.
Yeah.
And especially, I mean, we know that when it first got talked about, even just the mere mention, it got a little bit contentious for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean,
You know, people are really worried about their rights being violated and Constitution and things. But we've already learned that once you're in public, that's no longer in play. And I said it earlier on Table Talk when Jeff and I were talking about it. Everywhere you go, you're on camera now. If you're walking your dog in your own neighborhood, the chances of you being on at least half of the neighborhood's cameras are pretty great. I mean, and then restaurants, stores, airports, everywhere you go, DMV, for goodness sakes, ATMs, everything you do is pretty much on camera.
Brett's asking if there's an update on the sale of JJ Newberry's. There's not.
Not yet, but I
but-
heard that they're going
Oh,
to be
yeah.
announcing that soon. I did hear that they will be talking about that very soon.
Yeah,
Is
they'll
this the fundraising that they were doing in order to purchase?
correct. Correct. I have full confidence that BADC is going to be able to have a deed in hand probably by October. That
So-
would be my guess.
Yeah.
Isn't former city manager Steve McKenzie on that group?
Yes, he
And that's
is.
one of the reasons why I have no doubt that it will happen.
Yep.
He might come in and give you an update.
Yeah,
Oh.
I believe that is the plan. I think that people from BADC, once they announce officially, then we'll be joined by some people that will come in and talk a little further about that. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they'll end up getting it.
I'm pretty sure too.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a really good start. All of the board members were very much on board and donated their own funds towards, to kind of kickstart it. Yeah. Let's hope. It'll be nice to see that terrible eyesore gone.
It will be 100%. 100% agree.
Was there any stipulations on what would go into the location? Like, we all know that housing is a big ask these days. Like, call it an 80-unit apartment building. I'm just throwing something out there.
I think
No.
it was said that possibly mixed use, or no, that was on the other end of town,
Yeah, they
in the
haven't.
parking lot. I
They
don't
don't
think
have
they have.
any.
Yeah, they don't even have. Yeah.
No, not yet. But it would be nice if they could dust off that old plan that was
For the
that was
hotel?
floated for the hotel.
Oh, I was going to say, are you going to talk about splash pads again, Michael?
Oh,
Well,
splash
I
pads are
like
wonderful.
I know.
They are.
Michael wants one
Don't
so
be hating.
bad.
Don't be hating on the splash pad.
I'm not,
idea.
but I was just figuring that that's where you were going with it, because every time they talk about building anything or doing anything, that's one of the first things out of your mouth is, can we get a splash pad?
So one of my other hats that I've worn is through the Corrections Technology Association, and we would go and look at locations where our next conference would be. And I do remember some of the places that I went to, it would be a hotel, and I would go outside and here's this wonderful splash pad that they just have with the hotel. So when I'm on these different trips, if I see these, I take pictures and I send them to Michael because I know he loves them. So.
I like splash pads. I think they're really good. I think that they're great for
Have
communities.
you ever even played in a splash pad?
Yes, I've been to Riverside.
Okay, I was just
well,
I'm
wait a
just
minute. It's not
making
called
sure.
Riverside. It's called Used to be called Riverside when I was a kid. Six Flags,
Six Flags.
Agawam, Mass.
I
Six Flags.
guess. I have no idea.
I was at Great
it even
Escape,
open?
which is now a Six Flags too.
Yes, Great Escape. I remember Great Escape, but do you remember it as Storyland?
I do remember Storyland.
Now you're old.
I was pleading the fifth on that one.
Yeah, I bet you were.
But true, even if there's a place where that has pools, usually on the outside is a splash pad anyway, because kids go and they wash off. It's
Right.
just like rinse off their feet. And,
Yeah.
I just think we should have not spent the $1 million on the pool and had like 5 splash pads throughout the city, but nobody listened to me.
but the way that it was constructed, you still have a spot where you could build on an addition for a splash pad next to it.
Yep, we had that conversation. Was it last week?
I think so.
I
You
think
bring
Jeff-
it up
I
often.
think Jeff talked about it, and he
You
said
bring
that
it
they
up
still have the
often.
infrastructure there,
Yeah.
and we should definitely put the splash pads in. But anyway, all right. Well, on that note, I will let everybody go. Want to say thank you for coming in. I appreciate
no
it.
problem.
And giving us some information on the Veterans Place and the Lions Club, and then chatting with us about city council stuff.
And keep your eyes peeled for the new website.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and in the meantime, you can check out their Facebook page. If you want to donate, the Venmo's
Yeah.
there, the QR codes there. Some events that are happening are there. We try to share as much as we possibly can. I keep as track of the page as possible. I mean, I look at it a lot. So,
Yeah, we're trying to find different ways to get the information out there.
Yeah.
So the Facebook page is out there. They've started up an Instagram page. We are looking to do more outreach with, if it's Front Porch Forum or those other free media type things. Because the more we get the information out, the more that people will learn what the Veterans Place is.
and like you say, broader, like all of Vermont, not just Northfield, but each community, because you never know where a veteran may come from. And so to get the information from all points.
Yeah, and our board now does have members from different areas of central Vermont, so it is spreading a little bit. But I do hope, it's one of my goals, is that we can get individuals from different counties. Again, can't speak highly enough of Bonnie and the staff of being able to go to the Champlain Valley Fair last year, for example, and getting some of the information out up there, because it was an untapped area. Like they were an area that did not know about this location in Northfield, Vermont, little old Northfield. So the more that we can get to, if it is a fair or if it is, the Heritage Festival,
Right.
it's great.
Concert in the park.
Just-
Anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Anytime that we can spread the word, we will.
All right. Well, with that, we'll call it a night and say thank you to everybody for watching the Barry Beat podcast, streaming live from 802 Scoop, filmed live on the Inside Scoop Studios, and we hope that you have a lovely evening.